And I think we should be good. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase Eat. The cats are on one right now. Kristen, hello. Hello, Barbara. John McCarty's here. So happy about that. Good to see you, John. Hello there. Disclosure, Aaron. Arabian Bard is here. Hello, Jane. Look at that. There's the Arabian Bard in all her glory. Hello, Joe Kavalchek. Good to see you. Jason Ledford with a 5x5. I appreciate that. There's once a witness, Vernon. Good to see you. There's Lawn Dog, Sandy Wandy. There's Jane. Look at that. There's Renee. Have you hit the like button? Tell me if you have. There's Dizzy Dragon. There's Roberta. There's Gouthy. Toby Reveille. Good to see you. There's Lady Kane. If you remember Lady Kane, she was savage on One Hot Minute the other night. For real. Hard to the paint on her first One Hot Minute. And she already jumped on the like button. You got to like that. Hello, Heidi. There's Wade Martins. Good to see you, man. There's the Clipper. Fire hose. I was wearing my fire hose shirt earlier today. I was. Nobody here gets it. It's pretty funny. Good to see you, Clipper. Tim D. Hey, Johnny, my brother. It's always good to see you, sir. You're a light in this world. Keep it up, brother. We do the work. He gets the glory. Amen to that. I can get behind that 100%. Look at this. Michael Flesh. Hello, Johnny. Thank you for all the positive energy you put out there in the world. Some would not say that, but I appreciate that. Gornash, good to see you. Look at this. A-Trax, Chili Head. Greetings, my friend. There's Brock Bandy. There's another really fine human being. Hello, Lisa. Tired, intense day. Sometimes the intense days are great. Lots of you learn a lot. Mike Bragg, good to see you. I'm feeling good. Thank you for asking. Archie's mom is here. How exciting. There's Keith Kingman. We've got some good folks here tonight. How exciting is this? Barbara Waite, good to see you. In case I didn't post her, look at that. There's Krista Melinda. All right. Well, I'm happy to see you guys. It's going to be a fun one. Hit the like, and we can get more people in this. Richard Guzman's here. Happy. Oh, there's Herja, too. We're on the love train, everybody. It's not the bus anymore. If you didn't realize that, it's now the love train. It's just not enough room on that bus. Happy Friday Eve. Is it Friday? What day is today? Friday Eve. It is Friday Eve. Thumpaholic is here. Good to see you. I think I'm the conductor now. Is that how it works? I'm not quite sure. Did I actually subvert the concept of 1 hot minute by having Blu-ray help? Not at all. Not at all. Here's a great thing. There are no rules about 1 hot minute, Lawn Dog. And you've been running with me for a hot minute. You're good. No hot minute tonight, John McCarty, but we're going to do one. We're going to do one tomorrow. How about that? Johnny, subscribe, says Wade. Vern Ballstead, good to see you. Glad you're here. You know what, Clipper? Red habanero, believe it or not. I'm in Ecuador, and they don't have super hots here like they do in the States, but I'm working on it. I'm going to grow my own, I think is what I'm going to do. Jonathan, good to see you. Yeah, it's Thursday here, but it's still the eve of tomorrow's Friday. I don't know what day it is half the time. Isn't that awful? Fernando Ochoa, good to see you. 2% battery. My goodness. I'm glad you're here. I get panicky when it's down to like 30. I don't know why, because the battery is pretty strong. Listen, I see you. ABC123. I like that name. I like Pickle Beats. I do too. Let me tell you a quick story before I get into the Uncle B. Good to see you, man. Some great people here. Look at that. Josh Cohen. Hello, Cohen family. I got to read that, by the way. Greetings from Sarasota, Florida. Keep up with the truth. Fight for faith. Amen. What else is there to do? Gouthy, good to see you. Boy, this is great. I was flying to Australia for the channel, and my Connect I had on Facebook through Messenger, and I was in the airport, and before I got there, I don't know where my layover was, but in the airport, their Wi-Fi was not working. So I couldn't reach out to my contact. David Tibbetts, good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for being here. In my Connect, I wasn't able to reach out to them. So I thought when I get to Australia, I get to the airport and I think I flew in Sydney. I don't remember where I landed, but I thought it'll work there, surely, right? Italicizer, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Oh no, Thumpaholic did an RB003 cross with a Primatali with lunch, had cat cramps during the meeting. I'm sorry, man. So I get to the airport in Sydney and my battery was like dead. Tomorrow, Italicizer, we're going to do a 1 hot minute tomorrow, not tonight. Tonight I'm going to talk about the state of the country, really the world, but I'm going to talk about the U.S. tonight. And understand, even though I'm not living there anymore, I still love the United States. I need to preface everything with that. I love the United States. I do. I love the people. It's just not what I remember it. Anyway, I'm in Sydney, and that was a cat hair, by the way. So I'm in Sydney trying to figure out what's going on, and my phone died. My phone battery died, and I'm telling you, I looked up, and he's like, Johnny, and my Connect was there. And if it weren't for that, but for like 30 or 40 minutes, I was like straight panicking. Cindy G says, hugs and love for those who needing or wanting. No hate allowed. Your mods are the best. They don't let the hate stay. I get some hate now and then. It is what it is. Look at that. Italicizer says it's unrecognizable nowadays. It's pretty strange. It's pretty strange, man. Here's the thing about it. You know, when I was in, now I'm going to kind of focus on what I'm talking about. So if you sneak in, look at that, 37 likes and 46 people. That's not too bad, but it doesn't add up, says Josh Cohen. He makes a very valid point, people. Please hit the like button. There is Timothy Glass. He's the tired buffalo. Surprised you didn't know that. So I'm going to kind of talk, and I may not say hi to everybody right now, but I'm going to focus on what I'm talking about. So I got to say hi to Fragacuda because I love Fragacuda. I really do. Good to see you, man. See, I'm not going to be able to ignore the chat. I say I'm going to, but I'm not. So here's what's going on. When I lived in the United States, and I lived my whole life there, I like to think that I was sort of plugged in. I should have got tissues. My nose is running because the AC is going. So did you guys hear the intro? No one said anything about the intro with the AOL dial-up? I thought that was great. I love that. At any rate, when I was in the United States, I kind of felt like I was plugged in. I did. I felt like I was plugged in. And then Eden, good to see you from NZ, another place I've been to for the channel, and I loved New Zealand. I had so much fun there. Lady Kane says, Johnny, let's your voice be heard. Just respect the man and others too. That's a fact. I don't want to ignore the chat, but I want to focus on what I'm talking about. I wouldn't do that. You know I can't. I said it, but I can't do that. Anyway, when I left the United States and came here, it didn't happen when I traveled around the world for the channel. I went around the world a couple times. I mean, I went 7 or 8 countries. It was amazing. I'm glad you heard it, Keith. I thought that was pretty great. That was clever. When I never saw it when I was in different countries, probably because I wasn't there long enough and I wasn't focusing on the U.S. when I was in countries doing chili stuff. But when I got here, instead of seeing it like from where you're at, I kind of feel like I'm getting that 40,000 foot view. Like I'm above it. I'm looking down at it. I'm seeing it for what it is. And being in a different country, it's very strange to see what's happening in the United States. And what I've determined is we're going to talk about parties, Republican and the Democrat. I think they both suck. I think they're horrible. They're horrible. Both of them. And it's a mess. It's a funny thing. And here's the problem. Everybody's plugged in. It's astonishing to me how people will they just go, all of the mainstream media. I'm not picking on one or the other. They are all horrific. It really is. It's terrible. But here's why. And I've said it before, but this is what goes on. If you go to, pick one, it doesn't matter. Go to Fox News, go to one of the conservative ones, and what they have are the most extreme of that side. But here's the truth of it. That's not mainstream America. If you go to the left, you're going to see lunatics. But that's not America either. They're the fringe, the lunatic fringe. Middle America, that's why they call it middle America. That's not what's happening. But that's all we see. So the left thinks that the rights are they're Nazis, they're gun loving, they sleep with their family. It's just terrible. And then you got the other side. and we all have this feeling. It's horrific. It's terrible. But that's what listen, I've said this before, but the operating system, what is this computer? It's an HP. I don't know what kind of operating system it is, but I know what kind of operating system you've got and I've got. Whatever you hear and see, and the frequency that you hear and see it, determines how you think, determines your marching orders. That's the truth. I bet you everybody in the chats had the experience where you have a friend or a family member and they're different as far as political leanings. The more you hang around with them, you kind of move. You kind of move yours. And that's what's going on. And everybody needs to get back. There's no discernment, says Last Job. By the way, I hope Jigsaw's here. I've been praying he gets a job. And you guys pray for Jigsaw and his job hunt? I have. Sandy Wendy, glad you're here. Anyway, that's not middle America. It's just not. People hear, they take a soundbite out of context. Good example. Let me give you a good example. Charlie Kirk was murdered. I've had so many people that have emailed me, and there are comments. If you make a comment and you tell me your point of view, it's one thing. But if you're going to spread a lie in a comment on my channel, that comment's going to go away. It is. I'm not going to. Somebody just hears a soundbite and they spit it out. Like the amazing one that I get all the time is the about Charlie Kirk saying if he had a black pilot, he'd get off the plane. He never said that. I'm sick of talking about it. He never said that. He was talking about DEI, and he said essentially, doesn't matter what color the person is, but you'd want to know that if you're on a plane, that person didn't get the job because of DEI. And didn't have lower scores, but they gave it to him because of the color of his skin. He never said that, and he'd get off the plane. He never said that. And I have people that email me every day and tell me he said that. I say, show me. They'll say, I heard him say it. No, you didn't. Look at that, Tyson Roby. It's Tyson. Good to see you, Tyson. I've had so many people that have emailed me that have said that Charlie Kirk was a racist. He hates women's rights. That he incited violence. You guys ever hear that? He incited violence. Think about this. When was the last time there was an assassination from a right winger? I'll give you time. It doesn't happen. I want to show you let's talk about violence for just a second. I want to show you how twisted. Swiss Vapor. Look at that. Life is a blessing. I'm so glad I joined the bus. We're the train now. But you betcha. Swiss Vapor. We're now the love train because there's not enough people. They wouldn't be able to fit on the bus. There's a wave coming. I believe it. You pray for rain. You know what you do? You carry an umbrella. So the bus wasn't big enough. We got a train now. Johnny, I truly believe Johnny, Tommy, and Super Hots saved a part of my life. I'm glad to hear that. You're a good dude, Swiss Vapor. I heard you chugged. Tyson Roby says, I heard you chugged a whole bottle of hot sauce. Who told you that? Boulder Dash. Okay, I did. I actually attempted to chug a case once. Not one of my finer decisions. John Sally, good to see you. A longtime fan. Johnny, what hot sauce is the worst or your biggest letdown? You know what? That's a good question. What is the Truff? Truff is one of them, but the Last Dab experience was the big one.
Plutonium tastes like somebody.
Well, plutonium isn't even sauce. That's just extract. But I wanted so badly, John, to like Truff. It's not. It's not. I hated it, and I love truffles. It's not a truffle sauce, or hot sauce with some truffle in it. It's truffle with just a little bit of hot sauce. I didn't like it. And the Last Dab experience, it just wasn't hot. It was billed as being, what was it? 2.4 million Scoville heat units. I had sent off to 2 different labs, had the Scovilles tested. True story. Came out 61,000. That was a pretty big disappointment. Now, let me show you a little stat here. It's going to give you guys a surprise. Maybe it won't. This kind of got me going. I was shocked by it. Talk about violence, all right? Please look at this. This is in 2023, combined violence rates by parties, all right? The Democratic Party had 21,765 incidents of violence to 858 from the Republicans. Yet they're going to say that the right wing, the conservatives are violent. I had people that attack me I've been called a bully. Have you guys ever seen me bully anybody? Ever? Anybody? Somebody does something, there's going to be a trail of evidence. Never. Never. Not once. It's not me. I've learned that whatever, I'm sorry if you hate this, but whatever the left is screaming at that the right's doing, trust me, that's what they're doing. Call me wrong. I'm not. You can call me wrong if you want. Lady Kane says, Johnny encourages me to stay sober and just chase my field with good peppers. You know what? I'm glad you said that. Sobriety is a big deal, Lady Kane. I'm very grateful for mine. I really am. John Sally says, thank you for your wisdom and answering my question. Thank you for asking it. I don't know how much wisdom I have. You know what? The funny thing about wisdom, it comes with a school of hard knocks. It's a fact. The bottom line is, it's not what you think it is. It's just not. Where are you getting your news sources? Like the consumption. What do you consume? You're consuming this right now. This is, you realize that, right? You're consuming content. If you garbage in, garbage out. If you watch, I have a friend, I'm telling you that one day I was in the, I'm not going to say his name. I think I did it once already, but I'm not going to do it tonight. But I was at the office. I looked over his shoulder and he goes, look at this, Johnny. Held his phone up and I looked at a person getting their head cut off. Jigsaw, I'm so glad you're here. Did you get a job? Anything good happening? I've been praying for you, man. There are people in this chat praying for you to get a job. Not kidding. I hope you did. Anyway, he was looking at this. I said, dude, what are you looking at that for? He goes, it's funny. I said, funny? That's funny to you? There are channels, gore channels. That's all they show. I said, dude, why are you watching? He goes, man, where do you find that? And he told me the name of some site. He goes, I said, why do you watch that? It's funny. He watches it all the time, this dude. He's a friend of mine. I said, man, that's got to be really hurting your dome. Why are you watching that crap? What are you consuming? Honestly, if you're listening to, there are some places you can go and you're going to hear nothing but sound bites and lies. If you email them to me, I'm just going to debunk them. That's how it works. A-Track says, what's the worst tasting pepper you ate? For me, it's the Reaper. Too much floral and bitter. You know what's funny? Floral used to make me almost gag, A-Tracks. But over the years, I've developed, it's coming, says Jigsaw. I'm so happy. Keeping the faith. That's awesome. I used to have a problem with floral. And early on, I think it was the second year of the channel, maybe. I don't even know. I mean, I've been doing this too long, 8,000 videos. But I was doing a video that was called Surviving 10 Rounds of Super Rods from Leo McGinnis. And one of them was a caramel maruga. And if you watch that video and you put the volume up, when I eat that pepper, I almost vomit. And you could hear it. You could hear it come up and you could hear it stop in my throat. Then something happened over time. I ate a lot of peppers. I mean, I've eaten thousands of peppers. And I got to the point where I really like floral and bitter together. To me, is a magical combination. It came over time. I didn't like it right off the bat. I promise you. I'm glad you're keeping the faith, Jigsaw. Look at this. Here's a great quote, great comment. Rocco Delgardio says, Christ is king. Indeed he is. Indeed he is. It is disturbing, Renee. But here's the thing. We don't, here, I'm guilty of watching stuff in the past. I'm really mindful of it now. Honest to goodness, I'm very mindful of it now. But there have been times in my past where I've watched things that I shouldn't have. A good example of this, I stopped watching mainstream media, news and cable it's been over 10 years now. I just stopped because it was so awful. It was crap. I can't begin to tell you how much, what that did for my head. It was relieving to stop watching that. So all I'm telling you is be careful what you watch. Honest to God, it affects you. Swiss Vapor, did you ever taste ahi mango? Wonderful mango burst flavor. Had one of my last video. You know what, Swiss Vapor? Ahi in general, if it says ahi, it's good. I love ahi peppers. They're so tasty. I love ahi mangoes. I've eaten a ton of them. Joel, he's from Chicago. Of course, the most classic are those couple videos last year when you eat the warthogs. You know what? That was some of my favorite videos. I don't watch my own videos. I swear to you, I don't. If there's somebody in it with me, I'll watch it because, like Tommy, if I'm making him eat something gross or if he's trying to drink a gallon of milk, I'll watch that. I'll go back and watch that, but I'm watching him. If it's a video of just me, I don't ever watch it. I don't like the sound of my voice. I don't. You guys like that? I was a kid. I remember the day. I swear to God, I do. My mom, it was the first time I ever heard a Beatles song. I heard Obla Di Obla Da, and I was like, what is that? But my mom had this tape recorder and had a little microphone. She was hearing. I spoke into the microphone, and she played it back for me. I'll never forget it. Freaked me out. You know why your voice sounds different when you hear it in video versus when you speak? When you speak, your whole head's a microphone. It's reverberating in your head, and you're not just hearing it, you're feeling it. And when you hear it on tape, it's detached and it's very different. So, but the warthog videos, Joel, are among my favorites. The one that destroyed me. Here's a funny thing. I got to a point where there's nothing hotter. I mean, I've eaten the hottest peppers, and I thought we sort of reached the limit of what hot could be. And Matthew Arthur sent me some of these warthogs, and I ate one of them. I don't know if you saw the video. My superpower, Tommy and I have a superpower. The best people end up being in the chat. That's one of our superpowers. Well, it isn't that I have tolerance for pain or anything like that. It's that when I'm in pain, I can still keep talking. Well, my tolerance is up anyway. But that video shut my talker down. It was so shocking. It was so shocking how hot that pepper was. I did watch that, actually. Kenneth Carey, been watching you for years. Them gushers are absolutely wild. Gushers are fun. If you don't know what a gusher is, it's gushers when you take a pepper and you fill it with a sauce or something. You can, I've done tuba terra gushers where you take you shove a tuba terra inside a peanut. So it's kind of a neat thing. Broody, I've been a registered independent since 22. I've been a cop for more years than that. Still an independent, more libertarian than anything else. Yeah, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty honest with you guys. I've never voted anything but Republican, ever. I'd rather have a goat in the office than a Democrat. Sorry, I'm just telling you the truth. That said, I'm not a Republican. Never. You know what? Listen to me. When I see somebody with a MAGA hat, I want you guys to know this. When I see somebody with a MAGA hat, I'm like, oh, man. So all extremes are horrible. They really are. I'm all hello. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Look at this. Conclave Maslins. I like that. God bless you, Johnny. I'm always tuning in. I appreciate you being here. I don't think I've ever said your name in the chat. Very good to see you, Conclave Maslins. I like the name. Jigsaw says that someone asked me yesterday where I was from because of my wild Southern twang. I like a Southern accent, actually. It's kind of a cool thing. See, Cindy doesn't like the sound of me talking. I don't either. I really, really don't. See, Sandy's emphasizing my point. I find that a lot of news outlets emphasize the worst of everything, the most violent, shocking, absolutely, and salacious. Here's the reason they do that. Because happy doesn't sell. Why do you think, listen, you think YouTube likes the Scoville brothers right now? I promise you they're not. If I got back to just eating peppers, they'd push my videos out more. Talking about the truth, talking about Jesus, talking about my faith. Here's the funny thing about that. My income with YouTube has done this. I should show you the numbers. I can show you like a bar graph, and you'll go, really? Do I look worried, even in the slightest? I'm not. When I was a little boy, my dad said to Tommy all the time, do right and fear not. I'm doing right. I got no fear. I don't. I fear stuff, but not that. There's really not a lot I'm worried about. I don't really fear that much. Where do you get your source of info when seeking facts over paid misinformation? There's a lot of places you can just, honest to God, you can just Google it. I don't like AI. Here's the thing. You know what's very interesting, Eden? Let me tell you what's happened very recently. Very recently, yesterday, in fact, I was speaking to somebody, and they told me, I'll never eat fermented stuff from Norway, Renee, unless I get my hands on it and I make Tommy eat it. But just yesterday, I was talking to somebody that said, you know what I've been doing for the last 3.5 hours? I said, what? And this person said, Wes Lightburn, who's hurt me more times than I like to think about. That's a pepper grower right there, people. A wicked good pepper grower. This person said to me yesterday, I've been deep diving Charlie Kirk, his campus talks. And he said, Robert, good to see you, man. You know what this person said to me? I have not seen any hate at all. and you won't. You won't. So what I would tell you is this: if it's something, if you're hearing, Sonny, good to see you. If you're hearing people talk about Charlie Kirk, saying the most horrific stuff about Charlie Kirk, what I would urge you to do, instead of listening to what people are saying about Charlie Kirk, Psalm 118:28. My daughter was triggered when I said that all lectures are Pinky versus the brain. That's hilarious. If you're hearing people talk about Charlie Kirk, saying stuff about him, I would urge you to go watch him. It'll be there long after I'm gone. Do that. And what you're going to find, if you're open-minded enough to do that, Roger, good to see you, man. Look what he says. Be thankful for these good days while they last. Be thankful. I'm very thankful. I'm a very blessed dude. Tommy Bird, good to see you, man. There's Tommy Bird. I'm a fan. So I would urge you to go watch his videos. Seriously. Find out for yourself what you're going to find. Let me tell you something interesting. I'm not a big fan of Bill Maher. Actually, I'm growing more of a fan all the time. Bill Maher and I are probably, there's some things I probably would agree with. He's a classic, liberal, but he's an old school liberal, which is almost looking more like a conservative nowadays. If you look at what's going on on the backdrop of America. But he was sitting down in an interview with Billy Corgan. You guys know who Billy Corgan is? Billy Corgan is the lead singer and guitarist for Smashing Pumpkins. And you know what Bill Maher said? It was pretty interesting. Bill Maher said, here's the problem with liberals, with the left. The left won't talk to you. The left won't discuss things. These aren't my words. This is what he said. He said, if you sit down with somebody who's a conservative, somebody on the right, they're willing to talk to you. He goes, I may not think they're right all the time. That's what Bill Maher said. He goes, but they're willing to talk to you. And this is what he said. He said, liberals will say, I won't talk to you. I'm not talking to you. That's him talking. I believe that's the problem. I do. He is. You know what? Listen, Cindy, he's respectful. He's also a very, very smart guy. I love how he's reacting to the Charlie Kirk thing. I said to somebody within the last 6 months, you're going to see him keep going more conservative. Trust and believe it's going to happen. I believe that. Cue ball. Look at this. Cue ball is making dinner, but listening in the background. But you know what makes dinner around here? Tommy makes dinner around here. John says that Bill is a spoiled, rich, drunk smoker. He drinks a lot in his show. It's not a good look. You know what? Here's the thing about Bill Maher that you got to respect. He doesn't give a rip what people say. He speaks his mind. That's what we all have to do. We have to be able to. What he said was, this is what he said. He goes, I didn't agree with everything Charlie said, but I really liked him. We've got to get to the point. Like I have had so many people. Like I always get a lot of videos, you guys. It happens when you've been around doing this for as long as I've been doing this. All right. So I get a lot of videos. But since I started talking about truth and Jesus and faith and things like that, you can't begin to know. I get 50 emails a day or more. Some of them most of them are very supportive. I'm telling you the truth. Here's what everybody's finding. I think if you're a liberal, you're going, oh my God, there are a lot of people that think like he thought, and I didn't realize it. There's Charlie Kirk in the chat right now, I promise you. But a lot of the emails I get are just hateful, that just tell me I'm a bad person. I'm next. I should get the Charlie Kirk treatment. Imagine that. I'll tell you something. If I was in the United States of America, I promise you, if I was in the United States of America, I'd still be talking about what I'm talking about right now. That wouldn't change. It wouldn't. I'd still be talking about it. But I promise you, I'd feel a whole lot safer. I feel so much safer talking about it here. This is, you know what? There's an echo chamber. And this is the echo chamber. I'm sorry to say it. It really is. Most people here are going to agree with me, and it's okay. Some people don't. You've heard me be, called a fascist, a Nazi. Wally Studios. Look at that. Good to see you, Wally Studios. But when I walk out of this door and I walk out, there's no echo chamber here. Not at all. Now, part of that could be because I don't really speak the language very well. I'm working on it, but they're just removed from it. It's very, very different. It's funny. I was watching something today. Tommy Burt says, I wish I could speak up for my faith the way Charlie Kirk did. You know what? My goal is to be bold. I want to be bold, but I don't want to be offensive. I don't want to, but I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I don't know if you heard that. I said, I'm not going to offend anybody. He goes, you'll let your brother do that. I'm trying to be as calm as I can be. Tune in tonight, please, at 8:05. That's my time. I don't know what time it is to you. 5 minutes after the hour coming up, I want you to tune into my brother. Wow. I mean, wow. You're going to hear some crazy stuff. But, there's some crazy things. I was listening to today, speaking about Tommy Burt, said I want to speak up about my faith. I watched America's Mayor, Rudy Giuliani was talking, and he said, this is what he said. These are his words. And this isn't like a Charlie Kirk's words. I heard him say it. I heard him say it. Tommy heard him say it. We're watching it together. He said, I was always embarrassed about my faith, and I never talked about it. And I'm talking about it more since Charlie died. I've never been embarrassed of my faith, ever. But I've never, when you're a little kid, I remember, hide it under a bushel. No, I'm going to let it shine. Well, I'm letting it shine now. I don't care who's pissed about it. I don't care. People are leaving in groves. I've lost over 60,000 subscribers in the last 6 months. Imagine, wrap your head around that. 60,000. But you notice that the number isn't really changing. I'm still at 150,000. You know why that is, right? Because tons of people are coming on board. When Charlie died, there were so many people that said, I am. This little light of mine. You got that right, Sonny. There's Tommy at 5 after the hour. Please watch him. How many times hashtag I am Charlie Kirk? It's a big hashtag right now. Here's the truth of it. I heard Tommy say, I'm not Charlie Kirk. I've said it before, I'm Charlie Kirk. I'm not. He's 10 times the man I am. But I want to be Charlie Kirk. And if that meant somebody had to shoot me for saying what I'm saying, so be it. Here's a funny thing, man. I was in this right here, sitting here. Was it a month ago, Tommy? We're sitting here, and we're sitting on the, look at this. Thank you, John. Thank you, Sonny. We were sitting on this couch a month ago, and I thought Tommy was like rocking the couch. I looked at him and I said, what are you doing? And immediately we realized that we were in the middle of an earthquake. And I've been in two earthquakes. I lived in Reno where there was an earthquake in California, and they had like a couple hundred tremors, aftershocks they call them. And I got news for you about an aftershock. Whatever. Aftershock is something that happens when in a different state that somebody's experiencing. When it's happening to you, that's an earthquake. Promise you. When the terra ain't firma, that's an earthquake. Well, I was sitting on the couch, and this building started swaying. I mean, big time. Well, this building is on ball bearings. It sounds bizarre to say. It's a big, tall condo, but it's on ball bearings. So the building doesn't do this, or it would have dropped a long time ago. It does this. But it was swinging. And I mean, it took a couple seconds to get it to stop, and then a couple seconds more. And it did that for about 30 seconds. And when I realized what it was, I looked at Tommy, and I saw a look on his face. I swear, this is one of the greatest moments I've ever had in my life. It hung with me when it first happened. It stuck with me for such a long time. It was crazy. But I looked at Tommy, and he had his eyes. He looked like he did when he was 10 years old. His eyes were so happy. He had a smile on his face from here to here. He goes, are you ready? He put his hand out. I grabbed his hand. I went, I'm ready. Let's do this. I swear to you, we both thought this building was going to drop. Now I'm sure, in retrospect, looking at it and reading about it, I'm positive that this building could probably take an earthquake twice as hard as that. It was, 5.9? 5.9? Pretty gnarly earthquake. So I'm certain that the building could take more than that. But in that moment, I was sure this building was going down. And we're way up there. If this building dropped, we wouldn't make it. And I was not even this. I was stoked. I was like, this is it. This is how we go out. And I'm going to go out holding my brother's hand. It was amazing. I'm not scared of dying, I remember when I do videos, I jumped out of a plane and ate 10 Reapers while skydiving. And I remember there's so many people after that video said, you're brave. I'm not brave. I'm just not scared of dying. People they mistake that. If you're not scared of dying, I think you'll come off as brave. You can also be an idiot and come off as brave, but I'm just not scared of dying. You know what I am scared of? I'm scared of a country that won't begin talking. That's what I'm scared of. The biggest thing that Charlie Kirk did was he encouraged communication. And the reason that's so important is when we stop talking, you know what happens when two sides, especially political sides, when two political sides stop talking, you know what happens? That's the birthplace of violence. That's where it starts. Captain Capsaicin, good to see you. And I'm telling you one thing right now. Violence is never the solution. I have punched people's lights out. I've gotten in more fights over my lifetime, a lot of them. And there were times it was in the moment, it seemed wicked important and very necessary. I think swinging at somebody who's saying something to you that they shouldn't, it's a little different than killing somebody because of what they say. But violence is never the answer, ever. Ever. Aaron Disclosure says, my dad told me once, I'm not afraid of dying. I just don't want to. Well, there's a funny expression. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to go today. You know what I mean? I got news for you. Yeah, I don't want to say that. I don't want to go today. I got some really exciting stuff coming up that I want to experience and live through. So I have some important stuff on my agenda. Look at that. Sonny says, why would we, he's in caps, so he wants you to know he's serious about this. Why would we be afraid of going to heaven exactly? Not suicidal. We have a job to do, but afraid to go home. Here's the thing. You understand, Sonny, that there's a lot of people in the country that don't buy into any of that. They don't believe in a heaven or a hell. And trust and believe, I've said this a bunch, trust and believe. When you close your eyes for the last time, you're going to be in front of God. And you are either going to hear, you can meet God as your savior or as your judge, period. And you are going to hear, well done. I promise you. Charlie Kirk was sitting there, and just like that, he was looking at God and Jesus to the side. And he heard, well done, thy good and faithful servant. Or, story time with Uncle Bill. Thank you for being here, dude. Or you're going to hear, I never knew you. But trust and believe that moment's going to come. It says in the Bible, every man has an appointment with death. And I mean everybody, me and every single person in this chat. It's going to happen. So how are you meeting him? I know how I'm meeting him. I do. And I'm not fired up. I'm fired up about that moment. I don't want it to happen today. I'm not scared of it. I'm really not. When I tell you I have some spectacular things on the horizon, and I mean the real close horizon, some very exciting stuff. So I'm not looking forward to going now, but I'm not going to stop talking. Ashley, hello. I'm not going to stop talking about what I'm talking about. I'm going to wrap it up now, you guys. I encourage you to open your lines of communication. Be willing to talk to people. Every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is King. Cue ball says that. That's why I said that, because cue ball says we will all bow down when Christ returns, everyone. You know, I think about that all the time. Even the people that end up hearing, I never knew you, they're still going to bow and they're still going to say, Jesus Christ is King. Trust and believe that. Anyway, so here's the encouragement. Talk to people who don't believe. And this is the funny thing about it. Do you understand? As a Christian, we do that. It's an echo chamber. You only talk. I was so guilty for most of my life, only talking about my faith in church or to people that are believers. Wow. That's just as bad as only talking about things you believe politically with people that align with you. True story. Satan himself will bow. Boy, you got that right. It's already over. The battle's already done. Listen, I know how this movie ends. Trust me, I do. And I'm telling you what, this country, the world, we're close. You know, it always says that Jesus doesn't even know. He says, only my Father knows when the rapture happens. I have this image in my head of Jesus looking down, going, is it time? God going, not yet. Going, come on, man, is it ready? Are we ready yet? It's close. I believe that. And I don't care who hates me for what I believe. And if you have a counter opinion and you have a different faith, it's okay. I'm not going to doubt, I don't look down my nose at anybody for anything. But I'm also not going to, I'm not going to not speak the truth, not my truth, because there's no such thing as your truth. There's the truth, and then there's deception. and I'm not going to hide from speaking the truth. So hopefully, if you're God is good, hope everybody has a great night. Thank you, Uncle Bill. I dig Uncle Bill. And we're going to leave it with this. Psalm 118:28 says, very close. Boy, the signs are everywhere. It's so funny. I had this guy say to me that Christianity isn't under attack. I went, what? I'm under attack with what I believe. And I'm just a peon. I'm a little guy, I know God has a sense of humor, Jason. He's got a great sense of humor. What do you think? Listen, everything that we have, he created. I have that heck of a sense of humor. Where do you think I got it? I got it from my dad. But where do you think humor came from? Everything we have came from God. It's the truth. Maybe I'll end on this one. Sorry, you guys. God pulled a smooth one on Satan, says Josh Cohen. The devil thought he won when crucifying Jesus, but little do you know, he dug his own grave. It's true, man. And he hates it. There are so many people coming to know Jesus now. I'm getting emails. I'm talking to them. I'm praying with them on the phone. You know how much Satan hates that? Wow. He really does. Let's give it to him. If you have questions about faith, do me a favor, email me. I love you guys. I'm splitting now. Don't miss Tommy tonight. He's on one. He's been, woo! You don't want to miss Tommy tonight. It's going to be a good one. All right, guys, listen, I love you. I really do. Be kind. Talk to people. You understand that? Be willing to talk to people about your faith, about the other side. If you're one of those people that says, Charlie Kirk said this, do what that person did yesterday. I spoke to them and they said 3.5 hours. Did a deep dive on Charlie Kirk. Never said the things people said he said. I'm telling you. He's a pretty consistent dude. There's Tommy's. He's up next. Please don't miss it. I love you guys all. Please be kind. We'll see you guys later. I hope to see you all on Tommy's stream. Go over there. Get in there. Hit the like. It helps a lot. See you guys later.